Hey YouTube, Joeboy here. So, flame me or not, but I'm pretty sure that Big Mom is still alive. We get a couple panels from Pudding in the middle of the Law and Blackbeard fight. In one of the panels, Pudding says, if Big Mom is still alive, you won't be talking like that much longer. And for me, this reaffirms that it is not certain that Big Mom is actually dead. We talked about this in the review where this quote came from. It basically called it Schrodinger's Big Mom. She's in this awkward state of being both alive and dead, which is part of the reason why her end was very anticlimactic. I've gotten some questions when I've said this before about what this means, like why is it anticlimactic? So I guess it's worth an explanation. Basically, anticlimactic means disappointing. It didn't meet expectations. But typically this is less so fan interpretation, wild theories, and headcanons, and more so like objective expectations created by the story. A lot of people say that expectations are bad, and in some cases, in many cases, it is true. But expectation is also part of, reading, watching, enjoying any kind of story. There's something that you're excited for. It's why you keep turning pages. Not that I want to overcomplicate it, but this is one of the most difficult things of writing a story, is essentially predicting what your audience is going to expect. And play on that. So expectations are part of the deal. So it should go without saying that not everybody interprets this the same way. Not everyone is excited for the same things. I know this well after reviewing Film Red, because whether or not Shanks actually fought or how that fight went in the movie doesn't matter to me. It's not a thing that I'm particularly excited for. For other people, they experience it way different. But it is in fact the job of the story or the storyteller to communicate where it's going and what you have to look forward to, and manipulate all of these variables very intentionally, with the ultimate goal being to tell a story that people actually enjoy. We had this conversation around Yamato joining the crew as well. Oda made it very clear that we should expect Yamato to join the crew because Yamato straight up said it. Now, subversion is a real thing. You don't actually have to do this, but you have to bear in mind that when you drop a line like this, it creates expectation, and from this expectation, you can have disappointment. It do be like that sometimes. There's a million ways to do it. Having no one join and Yamato essentially go to the back burner, the back pages, as the strats leave, is not usually one of them. Kinda a moment destined to fail. Given the expectations you should have had because Oda created them, and the ultimate result, people are pretty naturally disappointed. You literally can't help it, unless you were never excited for the thing to begin with, which is a different conversation. So whether something is anticlimactic or not is really subjective. But in some cases, a lot of people can experience something exactly the same, and there's a really justifiable reason for this in this case. Big Mom's last line as she literally dies is, "Don't you dare assume that this'll kill me." It's anticlimactic because people were expecting more and instead got nothing. And actually, I would argue that this isn't even in the debatable sphere. Most things fall within the debatable sphere, like 60% like it, 40% dislike it, so, it's a toss-up. But Big Mom's end only really appeals to those that never liked Big Mom in the first place. And if that was in fact Oda's intention, damn it, epic levels of trolling. He did her dirty because Big Mom just fades away. You think, oh, Big Mom's gonna get back up, and she's just not really brought up again. There's no real feeling of resolution. Part of experiencing a climax is actually knowing when it is occurring. So it is not a good idea to make people believe that there might be more when there is not. I can't sit here now and make an entire video about Big Mom's character arc from Whole Cake Island to Wano and tell you that I understand it, explain it in any way so that it feels cohesive. In part because her death wasn't treated like a proper end. It's more like an ellipses. And it is not just because Big Mom said that she wasn't done, it's like her whole story is an ellipses. Her rages, unexplained, undealt with. Big Mom's invulnerability, unable to take any damage whatsoever except under a very particular circumstance when a photo is destroyed. Unexplained and undealt with. Mother Carmel, very ironically, disappeared. Oda was building conflict between Big Mom and her own children. This is best exampled with Lola. She wanted to control them and they wanted freedom. But when it came time for this to become something, Big Mom's children weren't ever in the story. After Whole Cake Island and Pudding, they never fought for their freedom. Big Mom just died, and they suddenly have it, without a moment to appreciate it. We never even got the climactic moment where they defeated the waterfall. Shame. The whole of the Big Mom Pirates essentially glitched out of the story. So I think that maybe I can be forgiven a little bit of copage that, you know what, maybe this isn't the end. But like I said, Pudding's line, Schrodinger's Big Mom, both alive and dead. Her fate is being treated like a mystery. So let's treat it like a mystery. But you know what isn't a mystery? That today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. I bet you weren't expecting that. Why do you want a VPN? Because it is useful to trick your internet into thinking that you are from a different country. It's pretty much like Mirror World shenanigans. All you really need to do is try it once and you'll see, things have changed. Incredible magic. You'd be surprised how many YouTube videos are region locked. Also, for sports fans out there, nothing is worse than having a team that you root for and you have to watch every game and then you travel. The world is cruel, but VPNs are here for you. But it's not just about experiencing the internet differently, it can also help protect you from threats. They call this threat protection. These things name themselves. Nobody likes web trackers, malicious ads, harmful websites, and infected files. The internet is a dangerous place. Everything that you click is a possible enemy. NordVPN says no to these things. And it does so even while you are not using the VPN portion of NordVPN. So it's like two useful things in one. We call this efficiency. But anyway, I really appreciate NordVPN for sponsoring this video. You can get 4 months for free by using my link in the description as well as pinned in the comments, nordvpn.com/joyboy. And if you get it and you don't find it all that useful, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's no excuse not to at least try. And you also help support the channel, which is cool. I like that. So yeah. So let's get back to Schrodinger's Big Mom. She is both alive and dead. It's a mystery. A very unique aspect of Big Mom is that much of her soul, her life essence, is actually not contained within her body. She's been pretty open about removing bits of it to create homies. We see several of them: Zeus, Prometheus, Napoleon, and Hera. Huge chunks of Big Mom outside of her body, carrying aspects of her personality. And there's actually more than this. This is a detail that's easy to overlook, but at the beginning of Whole Cake Island, we see black blobs collecting the lifespan of Charlotte Moscato. It's explained that these shadows are also aspects of Big Mom's own soul. Which of course absolutely has to be true because they're utilizing Big Mom's devil fruit to move soul around. My actual theory is that they're aspects of the soul of her devil fruit rather than Big Mom's own soul, but it doesn't really matter. I suppose you guys want to know where I'm going with this. The point is that if Big Mom were to die, there is enough of Big Mom that is not within her body that you could possibly reform her. I actually low-key speculated this maybe like 6 years ago, but it's a connection between Big Mom's powers, her soul fruit, and Horcruxes from Harry Potter. Essentially, Big Mom is Lord Voldemort. To kill her, you have to kill all the fragments of her soul first, not just the bit that still existed within her body. So she literally cannot die so long as her homies live. This is a discussion unto itself and something a lot of people use as evidence in the past. Big Mom has to be alive because we see Zeus, and Zeus is still alive, therefore Big Mom is still alive. It doesn't have to work that way. But what this does tell us is that if Big Mom is actually dead, her body in the lava burnt up and died, then for sure parts of Big Mom remain, including her ability to utilize her devil fruit and reassemble her own soul. I think that the Big Mom Pirates are going to return to the story, and I think that we know this for a fact because Blackbeard has Pudding. So the Big Mom Pirates are not going to completely disappear. But the issue that they face is that Big Mom is actually dead. Big Mom in the lava burnt up and died. I think that they found her remains, which still survived even with the magma. But she died. But you'll notice this if you rewatch the fight. Big Mom did not go into the lava with her homies. So just like Zeus, they are still alive. I think that the Big Mom Pirates' plan is to take the remaining bits of Big Mom's soul, take them back to Whole Cake Island, and use the black blobs which can utilize Big Mom's devil fruit to reform her. The only thing that they'll really need to do is decide on a new body for her. But as I can't think of a great idea as to what an alternate body for Big Mom would be, it's possible that they attempt to put all of the soul back into Big Mom's actual body. The magma didn't actually kill her, her will remained intact and she was alive as the volcano finally erupted and ejected her from the magma into the ocean where she drowned. What actually killed her was asphyxiation. She couldn't breathe. And how the Big Mom Pirates ultimately found her. So they'll gather all of the bits and pieces of Big Mom's soul that they can find and put it back into Big Mom's original body. I think that they will be successful in doing this. However, the result will not be Big Mom. It'll be very wrong. This just intuitively makes sense to me because you don't have all of Big Mom. Each of Big Mom's homies seems to represent various aspects of her. Actually, it reminds me a lot of how we see Vegapunk in the current arc. Napoleon is a people pleaser. He's shy and never acts on his own. He always reflects Big Mom's own mood. And I equate this to Big Mom and how she acted, for instance, around Mother Carmel, where she adopted what she perceived to be Carmel's ideologies without thinking for herself. And I believe that he is the part of Big Mom's soul that is desperate for acceptance. Prometheus, on the other hand, seems to embody Big Mom's controlling nature. We see it throughout the story that Prometheus, for instance, around Zeus, is always trying to tell Zeus what to do, tell him that he's doing wrong or what he's doing right. He's the homie that most embodies some of Big Mom's leadership qualities, as well as her anger. He also displays far more ambition than any of the other homies, going so far as to ask Big Mom for a girlfriend. You could also take this as Prometheus embodying Big Mom's loneliness. The last homie that Big Mom created was Hera, and although Hera isn't quite as defined as the other ones, what you do see is you see Big Mom's cruelty and her flirtatious personality. So I like to think of Hera as Big Mom's vindictiveness and her desire for admiration. So these three homies are going to be the ones that the Big Mom pirates have access to first and could possibly fuse first. But you'll notice something interesting about this combination of Big Mom's soul. You're lacking most of the things that make Big Mom a somewhat decent person. Hera and Napoleon display no kindness, and Prometheus maybe just a little bit. So the result of these three coming together along with the black blobs, which don't appear to have any personality whatsoever, is pretty much the worst version of Big Mom that you can find. Whatever good is within her is not going to be there. To get that, you would have to at least add Zeus. Zeus is Big Mom's innocence, her naiveness, her simple-natured honor, and her kindness. Possibly also her fear. And while all the homies display loyalty to Big Mom herself, it might be an aspect of her devil fruit. Zeus is the only one who displays loyalty to anybody else. Zeus also is probably Big Mom's laziness as well as gluttony. Although Prometheus and Hera also have a little bit of Big Mom's gluttony as well, it just doesn't seem as pronounced. And while laziness could be seen as a negative character trait in general, for Big Mom it is a positive. The less she does, the better it is for everyone else. So Big Mom will come back to life. The Big Mom pirates will know that she isn't quite right, but she's still their mother, their captain. She's incredibly strong. They can't really stop her from doing what it is that she wants to. She'll desire revenge against the Strats and chase them to Elbaf. Meanwhile, her children are going to secretly hope that they can combine Zeus back with Big Mom, so hopefully she becomes something closer to herself. The big thing that I'm really looking for is a way to deal with Big Mom quickly. That's just a thing that I feel like the story is going. So you want to take whatever plot lines are remaining with Big Mom and conceive of a way that they can be handled within a few dozen chapters, maybe less than that, rather than a whole arc. And yeah, I think that this could be accomplished in Elbaf. And I do think Elbaf is a fitting place for Big Mom to go. With her history with the Giants, the established relationship with the giant warrior pirates, including their captain Hydrogen, as well as member Girth, and their knowledge of Mother Carmel, all of these things can come up again. As for the ultimate result of all this, you guys know that I speculated for a long time that Big Mom is going to become an ally. We sit here now, I'm not sure. All I know is that there's things that need to be resolved. What I do think that I know, though, is that the Big Mom pirates need to become allies of the Strats, which is in a very precarious situation once Big Mom died. I think that something important that could happen in Elbaf when the Strats re-encounter the Big Mom pirates is they can learn about Pudding. We know that Sanji now has a relationship with Pudding. Hearing this news, there is no way that he ignores her. It'll become his mission to track down the Blackbeard pirates and rescue her, which will go with the natural flow of the story. I've speculated this before, but there's some chance we actually encounter Blackbeard at the end of Elbaf as well, to go along with the Fourth Road poneglyph that I expect to find there. Regarding Big Mom, I think it's interesting that both Prometheus and Zeus seem to be more defined than the other homies. In terms of their personality, they're more complex. I think this is because these were the first two homies that were created. So essentially the theory is that Prometheus and Zeus contain more of Big Mom's soul than Napoleon and Hera. But to take this further, this is not clarified, I don't believe, but I think that Zeus was actually the very first homie created. We only really get an update when Big Mom is in her teens, and at this point she has both Prometheus and Zeus. But I think Zeus was first and contains the most of Big Mom's soul. Personally, just the same as Voldemort and Horcruxes, I like to think that every time that Big Mom removes a portion of her soul, it's halved. So Zeus is half of Big Mom's soul, Prometheus is a quarter, and so on and so forth. I think potentially we could get an emotional moment as Nami and the Strats try to protect Zeus from the Big Mom pirates and Big Mom, but ultimately Zeus decides to return. And as he does so, he changes Big Mom to be more like himself, as the largest fragment of Big Mom's soul. And it could potentially explain a lot about Big Mom, her trajectory, her life, basically growing to become an evil person when as a child, she removed half of her soul, almost like a time capsule, containing a lot of what was good about her. And her story is still heartbreaking because most likely she did this because she was lonely and she wanted a friend. This missing piece reunited. It ends up being true that this new Big Mom is actually more Big Mom than the one that we met during the story. She has more of her soul now than she had before. But anyway, I don't want to go on forever. Obviously, a lot of this is speculation, but I do think that it is important for Big Mom to return to the story, and I do think that Oda is setting that up. And the way that we left off with her is very strange and now very obviously a mystery. But as always, time will tell and we'll see. But I'm curious as to what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, links to my book, The Booms, will be in the description as well as pinned in the comments. I would love if you guys checked it out. And if you read it, please leave a review. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, click the bell to be notified to join the squad. And as always, have a wonderful day.